Hello YouTube, Sidekick here, back in the Skyhawk, armed today with some Shrike missiles. So guess what? We're taking out that SAM site up at the harbor. It's an Iron Hand mission today. I'll explain that in a little bit more just a sec. We've got a waypoint coming up. You'll notice we got the nav computer on. We also got the radar working today. I'll talk about those in a minute. We just got a turn to make here. Let me roll in. Our final attack heading is 060, so we're going to come around to 060. We're going to roll out, and we're going to be set up for our final run to the initial point. So let's get rolled in. Alright, that looks good. Okay, so the thing you have to remember is that an SA-2 missile has a lot longer range than a Shrike does. So we have to get up pretty close to the harbor before we're able to launch the Shrikes. We have to keep from getting shot before we do. So we figured out a way to do that, and I'll pop the map up here so you can see. See, we've been coming north. We just turned right at waypoint 1. So the idea is we're going to use that headland again to shield us from the SAM site as we move in, and then we're going to be able to pop up over the headland, pick up the site with the Shrike's seeker, and then once the Shrike is locked on, we can launch the missiles and then hopefully get down and away before the SAM site has a chance to get a lock on us. Okay, so in case you don't know, the Shrike is a missile that locks onto a radar emanation. When we flick the master switch on, we're going to get a tone. Here, I'll give you a sample. So that tone is going to change when the missile actually detects a radar site, but we have to be pointed pretty close to the radar site to be able to get the tone. Now, of course, the issue is we're coming in low and fast and essentially blind. So the problem is we need to be able to pick up that radar site pretty quick after we pop up. So let's take a look at the air photo here and see how we're going to do that. You can see the suspected SAM site area there, and you can see that there's a feature in the harbor that is labeled the finger that basically points directly at the SAM site. So when we're popping up, we're going to pick up the finger, and it's going to point us to where to put the bore sight to try and get a tone from the Shrike. You'll notice today the other thing is we're actually using our terrain following radar, and what we're doing is we're using it, you see, because it's got a break in the middle. I can be sure that the point that I'm aimed at there is actually the headland with the harbor behind it, so I know I'm lined up on my initial point. So in a couple minutes here we're going to be at the right spot. We're going to turn on the Shrike, we're going to pop up, and then we're going to look for the finger as we roll over the top. Okay, here we go. And pulling up, pulling up, pulling up. Keep it coming up. I'm going to start watching that speedometer. And before we get too slow, we need to roll over, pull down. As we go over the top, we're going to pick up the finger. There it is. Okay. Pointing at that field. That's where we want to put the crosshairs. Get a little squawk from the Shrike. And there's the tone. And go. And for good measure, there's a second one. Okay, I wasn't actually sure I liked the first one. You can tell a Shrike is homing partly when it starts to loft after you launch, and that first one really didn't get into the loft phase, so I'm a little worried it wasn't tracking. But the second one looked good. Now we're going to keep our eye on that SAM site, and if we see a missile launch, we know we're going to be in trouble, and oop, there's a tracking tone. So maybe we're going to start deploying some countermeasures here, just in case. And we're going to keep an eye over there on that field. And shack. Yes, that looks good. Some secondary explosions too. Excellent. Okay. Okay, that's the primary objective done, but we still got some ordnance on board. We got some Zunis on the outer pylons, so we'll disable the inner pylons, enable the outer ones. Go to rockets. Oh, let's not forget to fly the plane while we're getting the weapons reconfigured. Okay, so we're going to want to go to Ripple. That looks good. We want pairs, actually Ripple pairs. Alright, we're all set up. Last thing, we get the gun sight adjusted for Zuni rockets, and we're ready to go. Now we just got to get around to the point where we can come in on that SAM site again. Just gonna add to the general mayhem down there with some rockets. Alright, I guess we don't need to stay low anymore, given that that SAM site is now out of commission. So let's get up so we can see it. Starting to get used to looking at this harbor. Okay, there it is. A little fire burning in the middle of the field there. Just going to use that as our aiming point. We're just going to go out here a little ways and just come straight back in on it. Time to go downhill. And pull around. And pull around. Pull it in. Pull it in. Roll out. There we are. Get the pipper right below the target. Just let it climb up. Climb up. Climb up. And go. Now, it looks like we do have a little bit of AAA down there still. Making life a little bit warm. Yeah, definitely a crowded neighborhood down there right now. Just as well we're going to be able to stay up high from now on because that SAM site's out of business. Let's just go up one more time, take a look back. Roll out here and take a look. Looks like my wingman is getting the same kind of reception I did down there. And it looks like people are taking an interest in our continued presence as well, so maybe it's time for us to head for home. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and do check out the other videos in this series. For now, this is Sidekick, signing off.